There are 5 basic rules to follow if you lose a loved one in an accident, and it's one of the most traumatic and terrible things that can happen to someone, to lose a child or a parent or a spouse in an automobile accident, in a medical malpractice incident, in a slip and fall accident. It is just terrible. And I think the number one thing to do, because people will be coming at you in all directions, especially if it was involving a car accident, they will be trying to give you the best advice. But I think the most important thing to do is to, number one, take time to grieve. Take time to go through the grieving process. Don't try to do things too soon, because what happens is you make the wrong decisions, you make the wrong choices as far as an attorney or what to say, or especially to an insurance company, something of that nature. So number one, make sure that you get the psychological counseling, that you deal with the funeral, that you deal with the grieving process. Then the next thing, when you finally come to terms, is to retain an attorney. I think that the most important thing in retaining an attorney is to get an attorney who, first of all, is an attorney in that particular area of personal injury. For example, there are some attorneys who try to handle all kinds of cases, contract cases and divorce cases and personal injury cases, workers' compensation cases. This is like going to a doctor who's a general practitioner. When you have a wrongful death case, you have to make sure you go to an attorney who has handled wrongful death cases. If it's a medical malpractice case, you have to make sure that you consult with an attorney who has handled medical malpractice cases and knows what to do. If it's an automobile accident, you have to make sure the attorney has had those kinds of cases, and that's where my office has its expertise, in both medical malpractice, in automobile accidents, motorcycle accidents, slip and fall. So you want to make sure that you get a competent attorney. Number 3, make sure that you follow the instructions of the attorney. The attorney will give you a list of things to do, and you should follow those instructions in gathering information on the person who passed away, on gathering any sorts of mementos or films, videos, things of that nature, photographs, journals, that will bring this deceased loved one alive for a jury. Number 4, what you should do is try to help the attorney in gathering information on the financial records, if this person is a breadwinner, on any medical records or hospital records, if the deceased loved one lived for some period of time and went through pain and suffering, and anything that will help the attorney to build the case to the point where you will get compensation that you deserve as a family member and a loved one. Of course, you could never replace the person who has passed away, but you can make sure that the compensation is fair, and that the corporation or insurance company involved does not do something to mitigate what they should pay to you as a loved one and an heir. And finally, be ready to be in the case for the long haul. I know that it's difficult. You've gone through this stressful event. You just want to get it over with. But you're not helping anybody but insurance companies and large corporations if you just want to settle the case and put it behind you before they've paid what they truly should to compensate you for your loss. So I believe that that's the best way that you should do.
Okay.
I believe that those are the 5 rules that you should follow in a case in which you've lost a loved one.